Alright, let's open this in a browser. Should be working fine. Okay, I'll take the pet shop as a reference here. Copy this layer. Because now I'm gonna draw the pet shop from inside. Inside. That's fine. Paste. I just need it as a reference for the size. I'll save as something new. It'll be HD, not recover. I don't mind, it can be recover. Who cares, really? HD 07. We can start drawing. Shut my phone up. Find some royalty-free. Why is it so loud? Jesus. Don't need it to be so loud. Alright. Hi there, Kitsune Arcfire. I'll just call you Kitsune. Welcome back to the stream. You're here just in time for the epic beginnings. Today we're gonna draw the pet shop from the inside. I don't even think I need this reference. Maybe I do. I'll need to be a bit more zoomed in, because if I'm gonna draw like Itachi going through the wall right here, it's too small for me to get any actual like nice details in. So probably I don't need this pet shop reference for now. I'll just make it disappear for now and do my favorite part of drawing, the geometrical parts that I really hate, but what can you do? Pet shop internal. So the way this shop looks, the way it's constructed from the outside, I guess inside it's going to be the other way. The entrance is going to be closer, and then you have these one side here, and the other side is actually a pizza shop. So I won't be drawing that part. Right, so the door is essentially on the left side. So I can take this a little bit and take it to the left. And this will be kind of like the entrance area of the store. Man, it's so not comfortable to draw like a freaking line like this. It's so unintuitive. Like the drawing small stuff, I don't know, like a nose or an eye, it's very easy. But like when you start messing with these geometrical lines, it's fuck. That's fine. Hey there, blue glasses. Oh, good. How about yourself? All good? I'm good. It's a bit cold out here. They promised a bit of snow, but there were a couple of flakes, but nothing really piled up or anything. It kind of melted on the way down. I should probably take care of these openings right now. The ones that at least I see. All right, that's a nice perspective of the entrance. This is the entire area that will be like smashed by Itachi. This is the normal door entry. Ugh. I should rename the show from Funkatsuki to Fun with Lines and Perspectives. Thanks again for looking up for that song for me. Had that on loop for a while. Oh, you asked me for the Hebrew song last time. Yeah, it's pretty good. Jesus. All right. So we're now at the point where the YouTube algorithm is like all screwy and gives you all the Hebrew songs you ever wanted to hear. Isn't there a ruler tool for that? Yeah, but imagine like why I avoid using that. Because from the way I draw these cartoons, like the shapes of the characters and how the style looks, it will look really, really weird if all the lines of the backgrounds are perfectly aligned and clean. It just wouldn't fit. They would like stick out like sore thumbs, all the characters and the animation style. So and besides, it's pretty hard to like draw cartoonish perspectives like it's in here. It's not like photorealistic by any meaning of the word. So it's better just, you know, do it like this. Yeah, it keeps the roughness aesthetics. Yeah, I would call it a rough aesthetics, even though it's just like poor technique by me. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I never said I was a clean illustrator. I'm pretty good, but I'm messy as hell. How high the door goes in this store? Well, that's fine. Like I did the door. The doors here are square, but they're also symbols. So I'm gonna animate this. The doors, you know, they're automatically go outside. Here it's just the opening. Like I figured when Itachi burns through the wall on the side with his Amaterasu, it's gonna be like basically crashed here and smashed. A lot of the effects are gonna be done in the video editing in Adobe Premiere. I can do like nice flames and all that. I did that in the previous HD remake. I'll show you what I mean. Let me find that really quick. Fun with Akatsuki. HD. Like in the first episode that I remade, this one, I drew most of it. It was my first time drawing this in like Flash entirely, and like the flames and all that stuff. It looks good, but it takes so long to do. And later when I went to like Funkatsuki 2, there's a bunch of effects in here that are not really hand drawn. Like well, while this is hand drawn, this flame here that Itachi, where's the part that he spits it out? This is the flame here is hand drawn. It looks kind of good, but it took me like about 2 weekly streams to get it done right. But stuff like this, the smoke rising and this smoke here on the TV, it's all like, I don't know what you want to call it, like After Effects voodoo. It's all crap that I like kind of did in post effects, and it like saves a bunch of time. Oh, by the way, buy a t-shirt while you're at it. Anyways, I think I'm gonna do like Amaterasu with After Effects. I actually did another video for a podcast that I'm working on. Ready, set, pawn. I'm doing an Overwatch podcast, so I did like a new logo reveal video where I dabbled in a little bit of oh, it's a hidden, wait a minute, it's a hidden video. Let me find it really quick. This thing, wait, there's this one. I don't even know. Oh wait, I can do something like that. Okay, now you can see. Now you'll be able to see it. So everything here is kind of like, there's no drawings in or animations, but there's an easy way in After Effects just to like create like explosion effects like that. And not only that, but you can also control like the colors and like the size and all that. So it'll be very nicely applied here on this scene with like black flames or whatever you want to call it. Why do I say whatever you want to call it so many times? Anyways, this is going to smash right here through a wall and making a path for our poor Itachi who smashed into the wall. Yeah, sneak peeks, exactly. That's kind of like what the point of these streams is all about, because like it takes a while to make these cartoons, so at least like this we can interact a little bit. A lot of times like people suggest some cool ideas that actually can make their way into the episode. So I'm actually going to reveal a major point for this looking around episode. As you know, the original episode is pretty close. They just go in and Deidara is like, give me something cheap they can see. Hi there, Grenadiel. So usually just Deidara walks into the store and asks for something cheap they can see, and they just hand them crispy, and they're done. This time around, though, I want to do like more of a selection process. Like they're gonna look at a bunch of different pet candidates that you might be like familiar with from other like pop culture places, cartoons, anime, and whatnot. So it's gonna be like an auditions section, but just for pets. So I thought about a couple of funny candidates, and you guys can offer some famous pets or characters. You read my name correct. I can die happily now. Grenadiel or Grenadiel. Yeah. Is it complicated to get down right? But I'm happy. Don't die yet. But whenever you do, die happy. That's a good thing. So yeah, I'm gonna have a bunch of like other pets that are candidates. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a longer episode than the original one. That's probably the shortest one of them all. Is it the shortest of them all for Funkatsuki? The original ones, I mean, at least. The first episode is 2 minutes 04. The second episode is 2:17. Yeah, and Funkatsuki 3 looking around is 1:47. Oh, actually, Akatsuki game is even shorter at 1:36. And then I started making them really longer. Like auditions was 3 minutes and a half. Funkatsuki 6 is 3:55. Yulek, yeah, you know what you're lacking is 3:27. 4:25 for red clouds, 414. And then Akatsuki X or 10, Never Too Late, is a 10 minutes episode. Yeah, took about 10 years to make too. Right, let's get ahead with this then. How are pet stores actually laid out? Pet store, like, do they have like cages and what do you want to call like the different pets, the candidates? All right, that's a good perspective for the scene. Close this door up. There's a window here, right? Yeah, there's a window. This is the wall that separates the pet store from the pizza shop. Hatred, Sunifier. Imagine something like Hypnotoad, too small. Totoro, too big. Garfield, too orange. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that. Kirby, yeah, that. Hypnotoad. It's actually a good idea. I might put him in. I'm gonna have a certain character from Full Metal Alchemist. The only hint I'm gonna give now is Eduardo-kun asobimashou. and Akatsuki will be like, what? No. Yeah. A terrorizing, traumatizing scene, not just terrorizing. I want to have the principal from My Hero Academia locked up in a cage. Poor guy. I forgot his name. He has a name, right? And the reason why, and like some of the pets will be obviously too expensive. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to add another character to this time around with Kakuzu, who's kind of like the treasurer of Akatsuki, right? So. Oh man, these generic songs are such hot, steaming garbage. Sometimes I'm just tempted to not have music at all. It's like, what is this? Am I like in a freaking early 2000s club or something like that? Come on. Give me some royalty-free music. I don't know, chill, instrumental, whatever. TMCA free and copyright. You know, the thing is, I always find these playlists that claim this video is like DMCA free and copyrighted music, and like it takes about half a day and I get like all these copyright strikes on my video. And obviously demonetized. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm still kind of traumatized by that scene. It really made me go, that bastard. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good show. It's pretty dark at some points. This one especially. It's a good one though. Probably one of the best, if not the best shonen. It's like always you'll see it like show up in threads where people ask for like a first anime to look at, or like recommend me an anime to get my friends into anime, and they're like, oh yeah, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Why do I hear like Funkatsuki playing in the background? There's a tab in here somewhere that plays Funkatsuki. Oh, here it is. I could just have that as a background music, just very, very quietly played Funkatsuki playlist. That's actually the episode that I need to look at, so why did I close it? Maybe I'll leave it open for now. Control-Shift-T will work. I'll keep that available for a later reference because that's the episode we're remaking. Yeah, that's gonna be animated way better. Him spinning crispy. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but you're gonna see it way better. Thanks for the coffee. So good. The juice of life. Coffee. So what you guys have been up to recently? How are you finding 2021 so far? Is it as good as promised compared to 2020 or just about the same so far, eh? I can put a bunch of boxes here. Living, trying to hide from COVID. Yeah, it is a wild ride. I'm working from home. I used to work like in a normal office environment, and I won't lie, there's a bunch of things that I like about it, like not having to dress up every day and commute and all that. But I found that like all the stuff that I miss from work, from the office, has nothing to do with work. So it's like bittersweet for me because I do miss all of my friends and, you know, lunches and you know, a ping pong table that I really loved playing with a bunch of friends. And here's the thing, like for work, our company performs really well, even though it's a software company, so we can get by just working from home. So there's no loss of performance and stuff like that. So maybe ultimately when this is all said and done, although nobody knows when that really when that is ever gonna happen, but maybe we're gonna transition into like something mixed, like 3 days at the office, 4 days at the office, which I'm gonna be a-okay with. 2020 part 2, electric boogaloo. Exactly. I'm glad that I can do my IT job entirely from home, but yeah, I miss the socializing. Oh, you work for Metal PC Angel. Welcome, by the way. I think it's your first comment in the chat, so welcome to the stream. You work for Amazon, so I get to see the stress from everyone. Oh yeah, I bet. I got let go because of COVID. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so many people are so unlucky. Like, people who work in like the food industry got hurt a lot, and you know the hotel industry and tourism, these got like really hit bad. So I can't say I'm complaining. Like, I still can do my job, and like my income is all fine and dandy. So I'm not complaining. I'm just like, you know, trying to. I just miss a bunch of stuff. Like everybody misses life how it was before. It's not that I hate being at home. Like my routine didn't really change much. I'm more of a home person anyways. But it's like the things that are now forbidden. That's kind of like what pisses you off. I remember, for example, like in when I was in the military for 3 years, I couldn't like grow out my hair, and like every time I'd think about it, I'm like, oh my god, I want to grow out my hair. And I grew out my hair after like being released, but then I'm like, okay, it's not that great, and I cut it shorter again. But it's just the fact that you can't do some things that really gets you. That's like the thing that COVID really pisses you off. Like, I want to go to like a pub or like to dance, and I didn't really used to do those things quite often, like barely. Well, we did used to go out and eat out, but those things are still kind of available. But you miss like the socializing, you miss the noise, and yeah, having to put on the mask every time you go out to get like groceries and stuff. It's upsetting. Traveling to another country. It's really telling how people already talk about the before times, half joking, but it's also half earnest. It's true. It's true. Like, once it's all said and done, we'll be like pandemic survivors. It's a big thing. I like anything what would be a comparable thing to this? Maybe a world war, really, as big as this, affecting the entire planet. Really, you can go to like the other side of the globe, and people are experiencing, like, in different shapes and forms. Obviously, some countries are hurt worse than others, but like everybody knows what's going on, right? And there is some sort of solidarity in this situation, I guess, which is kind of nice. I just want to go. I just want to do something simple as sitting at a fast food joint. Yeah. I want to see a movie in the silver screen again. Sonic the Hedgehog can be the last movie I've seen in the cinema. Yeah, that's also a good one. Like, we have a nice TV and a sound system, so like sometimes it's not as even like enjoyable as going to a cinema. But now that you can't, you really, really want to go back. The last movie I watched in the cinema was Tenet. We went. There was like a short span of time here in BC where people were allowed to go to the cinema, but you could, like, well, it's hard to explain unless I unless I show you. Normally, you know how you have like sitting charts. You have the screen in here, and there's like this section, and then there's like another section in here. And what you could do is like, oh, there are 2 spots available in here, and there are 2 spots available in there, and there are 2 spots available in there. So we were about, like, I don't know, 16 people in the entire big screen cinema, and we went to see Tenet. By the way, awesome movie, but you can't hear shit in that one. But it was fun. I mean, yeah, it's sad to see all these businesses and like people who rely on these jobs, right? And they struggle. And I love the cinema, and I hate what's going on with like films getting delayed. Like I've never been as hyped for a movie like I was for Dune, that's about to come up. And man, if that thing comes out and like on streaming at the same time as it would on the cinema, it's gonna lose a bunch of money, and every like chance it had of becoming like a bigger franchise is like in the trash can now, and it's kind of sad. Yeah, going to like pubs, going yeah, going to like a theme park or a swimming pool, forget about that. I want to see a movie in Orleo. Yeah, I read that one already. Totally agree. So what do you guys miss from the before times? Can you imagine like little kids who were supposed to go to like first grade, second grade, and stuff like that? How greatly diminished their entire perception of school is. Like, when I was a kid, I hated school, and I would embrace every time that I didn't really have to go to school. But not when you're in like elementary, when it's still like fun and adventure, and like, and all your friends are there. That probably sucks so bad for these kids. Going fishing. Well, can't you go fishing in COVID? Like, it's a very solitary thing. Like, you and maybe one more friend, 2 more friends. Or is it really restrictive where you live right now, Kitsune? Because fishing, I think you could still do if you're, like, abiding some rules. Can't you? Because here, like, in Canada, you can still go and do a hike and fishing as well. It's kind of lax where I'm at right now, honestly, in BC. Like, most restaurants are even still open for dine-in, which is odd. But I think, like, people here are pretty disciplined where I live. So everybody is, like, not everybody, but, like, 99% of the people you'd see, they wear a mask. Sorry. And they would, like, social distance and, like, you know. It's pretty good. Not where I'm at. Yeah. I gotcha. Costco is still open. The great old before times, back when we didn't need to hear 6 feet when hanging outside, or even being looked at when letting out a light cough. Oh yeah, that's so weird when you're like and everybody's looking at you like you're the bearer of the apocalypse. That's true. some boxes in here. I don't even know what these boxes are for. If these are for pets, these are pretty small pets. And I should probably draw some more boxes on top of them. Can I be lazy about it and just copy paste these boxes and just put them on the top? I think it'll be weird, but I'll try anyways. That's how I roll efficiently. You are case 0. Look, yeah. I was very hopeful at the beginning of this year with like vaccinations out and all that, but these take a while. And now with all these like new strands, like god damn it, like how quickly does this thing really evolve? You don't really know, right? And how effective are these vaccinations? How many times you're gonna have to take them? I know that like after a big enough portion of society gets vaccinated, right? Like there's something that is called herd immunity, right? Because eventually it will kind of disappear. I guess there will be some localized cases, and it's not a problem really, as long as like healthcare is not crippled by the sheer amount of people. Because COVID, it is dangerous. It is more like lethal than the flu, but it's controllable when it's like in smaller amounts. So that's the point of like herd immunization. But now with all these strands and like mutations, they're like, fuck, how long is this gonna go on for? Where is free transform? Hello, transform, free transform. Is there not? I need to rotate this up. Oh crap, that's not what I wanted. Okay, how about that? Looks fine. We can do with this, right? Good enough. Definitely good enough. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can do that. I just need to paint over these boxes or cages. These are kind of small though. Well, there are small pets. How do these boxes look normally? Is there like a mesh on top? I'll do a mesh box. It's pretty easy to like do transparent colors in Flash. Or it's not really Flash, RIP Flash, by the way. But meshes will be the way I will go about this. Come on. Terrariums, yeah. Terrariums is a good, like, everybody has their own bubble. It's a good way to go about these things. I mean, we get used to everything, and luckily the internet is still available, and everything is like, there's deliveries for all like the nice foods we like. But yeah, it's you can't like really gather with a bunch of friends like you used to before, or you know, do parties and marriages and stuff like that. That's kind of sad. Or like travel, like I said before. I mean, I got to travel to Japan a year ago, so we got lucky to have gone there before everything kind of hit the fan. So that's cool. Normally it wouldn't evolve so quickly, but Britain's let's do nothing approach made it a petri dish for COVID, raising the odds significantly. And that's just the thing. After reading a little bit about it, like, there's no really evolve so quickly, because like every virus is kind of different, and I guess it's not just a matter of time, right? It's also a matter of how many people really get it, and because like millions of people got COVID, it had the time to adapt. So that's kind of crappy for us all. Yeah, there were a bunch of like countries who were like, "Oh, we're so smart, we're just not gonna do anything because it's like not a problem." And then they're like, after a while, yeah, our plan, it didn't really pan out as much as we thought it's gonna go. And like, no shit, Sherlock. And I'm like by no means an alarmist, but like the danger was clear to me. Like if it's so much if it's very contagious, and like the death, like lethality levels of COVID are like around globally around like 2%. And people are like, oh, that's not too bad. Well, of course, it's like 1.6 now. But imagine that, like, if you work at a company of like 200 people, right? That means like 2 people die at your company, and these are like horrific numbers. 2% is a lot. Like for the influenza or like the flu, it's like 0.001, so it's like 30 times more. Yeah. So it was very early when I, not to like brag, but I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm not. I just tuned in and listened to what epidemiologists say. That's how you say that. Ep- epidemiologists. Yeah. So you listen to the experts, right? Why is my video so bright? I'm like shining like a beacon of hope. All right, that's better. But enough about COVID. Gets me depressed just talking about it. That looks fine. For box. Oh, whoops. What is that? Is there like white lines in here? Oh yeah. That because you are, yeah. OmniStrive, I'm the cure to COVID. But it's nice that we get to do this, right? At least there's some form of interaction. Like when I was in my heyday, we didn't have all this streaming. It was just work on your videos and get them out. I did do a bunch of things. Like, you remember the most awesome and terrible? Oh my god, that was so cringy. Looking back at it, it's unbearable to go through it. I'm so ashamed. But at the time, it was funny, I guess. Yeah, when the virus was first spreading, I immediately started wearing a mask and ordered a bunch of reusable masks. My girlfriend is in the risk group. I didn't want to take any chances of that. Oh, that's true. That's another thing. Like, there's so many people who have like respiratory diseases and lung conditions, heart conditions, and like people are constantly bombarded and exposed by the virus, like healthcare workers. Even if you're like perfectly healthy and you're not afraid for yourself, you know you can still like get someone else sick who can get hurt way more than you. I don't know. Like when it, I don't even know. Like I might have gotten COVID early on, maybe not. I don't really know. But I was sick. Like my wife and we got sick pretty early into the pandemic. Maybe probably not. I don't remember like losing my sense of smell and flavor. So probably was just a regular flu. First time grocery shopping with a mask. One woman that worked there laughed at me saying that won't help you. 2 weeks later, mandatory masks. Dab. Dab on her, yeah. Yeah, I remember my first ride through the SkyTrain system here wearing a mask. So yeah, Vancouver has like SkyTrain, even though it like goes out from the ground and it's on a raised rail. But for long portions, it's literally just a subway underground. So you can imagine how contagious that can get. And I was one of the first like people to actually wear a mask, especially in my age group. And another thing that I'm gonna say, and like. We like where I live in Vancouver, there's a huge Asian population, right? So everything started out in Asia, and a lot of these people who live here have still a lot of relatives there. And we noticed straight away that the Asian community in here, they knew that the shit was serious, right? So they adopted masks very early, and they're very disciplined with They were very disciplined with their approach to COVID from the get-go. So we knew like, oh, if they know what's going on back home, so you shouldn't take this thing lightly. And props, like I really respect them for, like, you know, not being inconsiderate. Like, one thing that I learned, and me, I'm like, I was born in the USSR, so I do see a lot of things that are similar in their culture, like people who are from Asia, and compared to here, there's much more like, how will I phrase it? What's the opposite of individualism? Like solidarity to your environment, and like thinking about the greater good more than about yourself. And I see that a lot of people who are Western are more opposed to, like, oh, I won't wear a mask, I got my freedoms and all that. And like, it's fine and all, like, there's a lot of value in that, but man, if your freedoms, right, get some kid with asthma sick and dying, well, is it really worth it? Just because it's not, it's depressing, the masks and all that, but like, people need to look at the bigger picture is all. Collectivism, exactly. The last thing I did was to go on a bus trip to my best friend's wedding. 4 days on a bus, no sleep for a week of visiting it. I miss it. Yeah, true. Yeah, we miss our relatives, our moms, like my wife's mom. We haven't seen her for over like almost 2 years now, I think, because travel is so restricted. More than that, yeah. My mom got to come, but she went through all the crazy quarantine. She was here in the country, but she was like restricted for 14 days and all that. Yeah, it's kind of telling that collectivism is like a dirty word, almost a slur in Western political discourse. But you know why? Because collectivism is pretty much no, it's pretty much communism. It's so apparent, like when you go to Japan, for example, when we went there. I guess there are good things and bad things about it, but you go on a subway and it's crowded to the brim, and you won't hear anybody like talking loudly on their phone, or like listen to music without headphones. It's unheard of, and people get by because they have to. Like, it's a very, very, very condensed city in terms of population, and you literally sit on top of each other, so people are way more considerate towards one another. Like, I when I lived in Israel, it was not like that at all. It's more like the US. Canada, I think it's kind of in between, because people are, for the most part, pretty considerate and polite here, and they do respect another person's space. Nothing more American than good old Red Scare, yeah. All right, these boxes look kind of nice, not gonna lie. Kind of depressing to think that like there are pens in there, but there's mesh. I don't need to put on air holes at the top. I mean, I could, but it won't make sense, right? Because they're stacked on top of one another. That's a good pile of boxes. Yeah, and if like Itachi and Deidara, they're this size, I guess you could expect that size for like a smaller pets, right? Should have bigger boxes on this side, maybe. Maybe some aquariums, fish tanks. What's the difference? Like, in Russian and in Hebrew, fish tank is also referred to as an aquarium. So is it just in English, it's just a matter of size, whether something is considered to be an aquarium or a fish tank? No, I mean like fish tanks can also be big. So what's the difference? Is that like the place where fish tanks are located at is referred to as an aquarium, like a park? It's kind of telling. I hope we keep the mask thing for flu season in the future. Oh, maybe just in crowded spaces like in in subways and such. Yeah, well, that's just what I was talking about with Japan and countries like Japan and Korea and China. I assume people wore masks before COVID. Like, if you get sick and you have something important at work, you would go to work, right? But you would wear a mask. And if you're not wearing a mask, it's unheard of. It's you'll be like shamed and sent home. In here, not here, Canada is different, but I guess like some societies, like the American society or the Israeli society where I lived at, like if you were sick and you got to work, everybody's like, wow, what a go-getter. That guy's a grinder. Amazing work. Like, good on you. Yeah, you're sick. And everybody would be like, yeah, I feel like crap, but I came to work. Like, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. Both. It's just slang. Oh, okay. Fish tank. If you have to come into work, just wear a mask for sure. But like I said, lots of pluses and minuses and all. Like, not to say that the Japanese working culture is great and all that, because they'd come to work if they're about to die, and they don't. Like, I'm exaggerating for the purpose of making my point, but I know from a lot of like forums and threads that a lot of people just stay at work just to appear to be working, and there's no life-work balance whatsoever in normal like corporate salary jobs in Japan. So I don't see the point in that. It's proven to be very inefficient. But again, it's like things that are embedded in your culture and collective psyche, paradigm of a culture. These streams are getting quite deep. This will be. It's because we have like a smart dialogue, smart chat, smart streamer, and ridiculously stupid cartoons that we're working on. It's like the exit sign, I guess. Should make some decorations, like a, I don't know, like food, pet food commercial in here, something like kind of nice, I guess. It can't be like, it can't look like prison, right? It's just a pet store. Like a prison filled with little containers of pets. It's kind of sad. I like how they have it here in Canada. I guess, like, does America have PetSmart too? I guess they're all kind of the same. You walk in, and I have 2 cats, and every time I come in to like get some pet food, you see all these cats on the side there in their little nooks or you know, compartments. And most of them are like adopted, and it's very nice, and they're all like cuddly there, and they seem to be in good condition. Not gonna lie, I actually forgot for a second that I'm watching a stream about drawing a comedy cartoon. I know, right? Oh, I like this dialogue. It's fun. Kiba Kibo. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna use that. Kiba. Kibble. You see? That's the benefit of tuning into these streams. You can literally affect the outcome of these cartoons. How should I call it? Cement yourself in Funkatsuki lore forever. It's kind of sick. What are you looking at there? My wife's so excited. We're planning to get her a car. She doesn't have a license yet, but she's excited for the car, I guess. Oh, she booked the knowledge exam, yeah. Yeah. It took me a while to convince her to get a license, but I guess all she needed is like the proper car to motivate her.
I think we found the one.
We found the one. What am I doing? Oh my god! And I'm so proud of my laziness and my efficiency. Why am I writing all of this again? It's Kiba Kibble. I can use this. Oh, well, that's how we learn. There we go. Oh crap! And it's even like it makes even more sense because it's a logo, right? It needs to be uniform. Dude, imagine if I put Akamaru in here and they gave him away. It's gonna be so sad. Like, what would be... Oh my god. I can totally do that, but what would be the reasoning for them giving him away? Holy crap. Poor Akamaru. I like his character, but I hate how they made his they dubbed his voice in the anime. You know how they sometimes, well, how it's very obvious when it's a human who makes the dog noises in a cartoon. Oh, I gotta follow. What the hell? So sometimes you get like people. Oh, it's actually a subscription from Jason Webb. Thanks you, Jason. See, you got my English all broken because of how excited I am. So yeah, I didn't really like how it sounded so obvious that Akamaru was like voiced or dubbed by a person. I was like, it got on my nerves. Yeah, thanks, Jason. You're awesome. Thanks for the subscription. Thanks for all your support, guys, for tuning in every week. And the Patreons, again, I would be remiss without mentioning the names of the guys who are actually, you know, donating all of their money to help me out with doing these streams, as, you know, obviously. With the limited resources I have of mostly time. But yeah, it gets me, it pushes me a little bit to do this more of a regular thing. You recently started watching One Piece. Oh, we recently started watching One Piece for the second time again. I never finished it. We are at the Water 7 arc. CP9 and all that. It's really, really good. I watched it. I literally watched it yesterday. And the dog from the beginning was really a mock of a dog sound. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Don't tell me. I think I can remember his name. Chappie? What was his name? Yeah, 800 episodes to go. Then the one that protected the pet store's shop. That was the first of many times that my wife cried in this show. Shushu. Yeah, Shushu. Yeah. It was, oh man, and when they started kicking him and punching him to get him away from the... Who's cutting onions? One Piece is very good. It is still one of the old, like the previous generation of shonens where it like drags on sometimes. But when it's good, whoo, is it good. Something is really weird with my webcam. It just turns me into Snow White after a while, and I don't know how to control it. I like manually change it back, but again, I'm like super, super pale. No idea why. Let's just forget about it. It's your first time watching it. Cool. Welcome to this world. How far are you in it? 愛の夢をかき集め探し物のなななのさ I think like the greatest thing about One Piece is like the sense of adventure and travel and like the vastness of the ocean and like not knowing what's gonna happen. That's like where it shines. Not even the fights and these emotional moments are, which are good, but it's like more of the journey over the destination sort of anime. Your friend talked you into it? Yeah, it's a good one. It's very daunting, I bet. Like, it was for me to start watching One Piece. It's like so long. But then you're like, well, if it's good, why the hell not? It's a good thing, right? If you're enjoying it, who cares how long it is, right? Why didn't I think of this before? Just add some unique details to each of the boxes, right? And then they're all unique. Kiba Kibo. Let's draw Akamaru. I'll draw Akamaru as the actually as the mascot of the food. Let's not put him in a box as a sad doggy. Copy image. There's Akamaru. No, I don't remember from memory how he looks. I'm sorry. Modify. It's way too big for a reference. I'll just... It's a nice shot of Akamaru, actually. I like the... Okay, let's see. My friend's talking me into it. I like the fact that Luffy is a bit selfless. Luffy is the... Oh, okay. It's not the journey that's the best part of One Piece. Luffy is the best part of One Piece. He is such a leader. Yeah. He's a bit selfless that even if he does something good, it's not through talk, no jutsu, but actions. That's true. The one thing that it, like, one of the weaknesses of Naruto as like a character is like, oh, I can understand your sadness and pain. And the villain's like, well, I guess that's true. I guess I'll change my way now. It's obviously exaggerated, but it's not far from the truth. And also, one more thing that I like in One Piece more than like in Naruto, it's like that most villains are such shitbags. They're not even redeemable like in Naruto. In Naruto, it's like a good and a bad thing, I guess. But most of the villains are like redeemable, or you know, they have like some goodness in them, and Naruto can talk them out of their evil ways. But man, some of the villains in One Piece, they're like maniacs. They're like, there's no redemption there, not at all. And Luffy is not like a Goku is like, Goku was a dumbass in a lot of parts. Is like, oh, I'm not gonna kill everyone like I said before, and Goku's like, oh, well, I guess that's okay. And the moment he turns around, they're trying to kill him. He's like, oh, geez, got duped again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and then like George W. Bush, not be fooled again. Eiichiro Oda is the master of backstories. Like a minor antagonist gets this flashback episode and their motivation turns out to be super deep. Like the guy in the baby costume. I don't even know who the guy in the baby costume is. But I know what you mean. I don't think I saw a guy in the baby costume. But yeah, like, it's funny how contrasting... I guess there's some magic in what he does where the characters look so ridiculous and so, like, you know, yeah, ridiculous is the perfect word, but they're very grounded in their character and emotions, and their motivations are very realistic, despite the characters looking very weird. And the art direction is kind of like off-putting at first, after having come from like being a teenager back in the day. And you all like the cool characters, right? You like the muscles and the Sharingans everywhere, and suddenly you see One Piece, it looks like a weirdly drawn cartoon, and like the proportions are weird, and there's not a lot of, well, there is detail, but it's not like, it's like in your face type of detail. I'm beginning to watch like One Piece, in the first early episodes are like, you see this Buggy the Clown sort of thing, and then you're like, oh, there's Kuro with his big Freddy Krueger claws. I'm like, how is this supposed to be like the best shonen ever? How? And it's slow at start at first, and then you get to like the more serious arcs, like Arlong's arc and stuff like that, and then you kind of get those moments where you're like, holy crap, this thing is really good. I see where the hype is coming from. Not to the point where you see like, and you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely the best shonen ever, but you get invested enough to want to continue. And then these moments, they add up and add up and add up, and Luffy has all these amazing moments, like you said, of selflessness, and you're like, wow. And I think like this season that I am in right now, where they save Nico Robin, it's like it's going to up another level again. It's like, wow, it's getting to these levels of epicness and emotion that are really, really good. It's not my favorite shonen. I don't even know what my favorite shonen is right now. I really like My Hero Academia right now. I'm watching it. I watched it once, like when we watched it with my wife, and then I'm also rewatching it with my sister's kids in English, by the way. And the dubbing is actually pretty good. And I'm a notorious hater of English dubs, but My Hero Academia's dub is really, really good. Meaning that the translation is not cringy, and most of the characters sound really similarly to, you know, their Japanese counterpart, and not just by the tone of their voice, but how they convey their, you know, emotions and yeah. So it's really nice. And like, even watching it in English, I'm like, wow, this shonen is really good. Not because it brings anything new to the table, but just because it uses this formula to such the execution is so good. Does One Punch Man is One Punch Man considered to be a shonen? I guess it is. Like, Demon Slayer is awesome too. Yeah. That's another one that's like a top 3 scenario for me. I'm waiting to watch. I didn't read the manga. I'm holding off. I want to see the animation. Like for One Punch Man, now that the animation is like all garbage in season 2, it was so upsetting to me, because season 1 was probably the best anime in terms of quality that I've had ever seen. But Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia, like I said, well, I don't know for Demon Slayer, because it's just like one season so far, or 2. They've been solid in terms of, you know, the delivery of the animation, the music, the direction, the quality. And I think it's partly thanks to the transition of the Japanese anime industry to the seasonal approach, kind of like what they do with Attack on Titan and with all the modern shows. Like what they had to do in the past with, oh, well, we're gonna do an episode every week for like 20 years. That was the downfall of a lot of these older shows like Naruto. Like, oh, the fillers and the inconsistent quality of animation, the dragging out. It just kills it. And now when you don't get to when you don't have to stretch it out as much as you used to before, it's much better. I like most good shonen. They all have their moments that just connect so good. Right, Kakashi versus Tobi, Gohan, oh yeah. Straw Hat's going to war on Arlong because he made Nami cry. Just powerful stuff. Yeah. Like it all depends on the characters and how they react. Like, I think My Hero Academia is very good in that because I really like All Might's character. It's incredible how like he appears to be on the outside as this like Superman figure and how strong he is and like that's just the surface level. But on the inside, you see him struggle to do everything he can, even though he can't anymore, to be this symbol of peace. And I'm obviously referring to like the beginning of the show. I don't want to go in too deep to what's happening after. But he's so well written. It's such a good character. It's definitely carrying the show. Like Deku is really good, but he's like Deku has no. He doesn't really have any drawbacks. I enjoy like All Might's character more, Todoroki's character more, what's his name, Bakugo's character way more. Bakugo has gone the other way. You see him and he's like that Sasuke, edgy, Vegeta, whatever you want to call character, and you straight away from the first episodes you're like, oh yeah, that's he's gonna be a villain and all that, and suddenly like the more he's put to the test and stuff, you see his motivations and his the stuff that drives him. He maybe still become an evil whatever, but you see that even though he's like very different and angry, his motivations are very like actually pure, and that's really cool about him. He's very human. Like Deku, I like him as a character and all that, but all of his weaknesses were taken care of at the start. I'm not reading the manga, so no spoilers, please. So I don't know if it changes, but I guess it does. It's not one of those shows where the main character carries your anime. Like One Piece, Luffy definitely carries the anime. Naruto, I'd say the Sasuke Naruto dynamic is actually what carries the show. Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer is a good example of the main character being like the most intriguing one. There's obviously a lot of funny, intriguing side characters, but you tune in every week to see what Tanjiro is going to do, right? How is he going to persevere and save his sister, right? Yeah. Kiba. Oh, wait. Where's my... Did I just erase Akamaru for no reason just because I talk so much? I was just about to draw him. Oh my god. I was about to add him to the Kiba Kibble poster here. Where's my chat? Where have you gone, chat? Oh, this is so thick. Why? I put too much pressure. Oh, that works. Demon Slayer is really awesome, yeah. Where's Kitsune Arcfire? Because Kitsune made that idea, offered that idea. Kitsune Limited. So this Kiba Kibble is by Kitsune Ltd. probably put some of the... Yeah, that is pretty amazing. One Punch Man is technically not shonen, but seinen. Yeah, I guess so. It's like more. It's like more like One Punch. Like Attack on Titan. It's not really for kids, really. So in the first of the North Star Berserk category for reasons, I guess. Yeah, it's more for adult audiences, like Attack on Titan and Guns and Berserk and all that stuff. Berserk. Oh, don't even get me started in that manga. Just in a whole nother level. I like the tiles, but maybe I'll do the tiles colored. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have Kisame's mom in the pet shop, and we'll see Kisame's dad actually purchasing her here, which probably doesn't make sense because Kisame already exists. What should I do? Huh? Oh, maybe he's like purchasing a mistress, and he's like, oh, okay, let's make sure that my wife doesn't know, and he gets another goldfish. So yeah, Kisame's dad, he's gonna purchase another fish, and he'll be like, you know, we can't have my other goldfish wife knowing about this. That's gonna be a good part. Oh my god. Man, the sick ideas of teenager Omni. Yeah, I can't sell her. He's a good guy. He's not selling his wife. He's just buying a mistress, right? That's way more ethical.
So bright.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's always like this. I go to Streamlabs, right? I can fix it, configure video, and then I can bring it down, and then I look normal again. Hey, I have like lips. I have lines on my face. I have brows. And I click apply. You know what? I'll keep it here available, and just in case it goes all nutty again, I'll just fix it once more. Or make him buy a shark, saying he needed someone dominant in his life. Maybe. But then, if it's a shark, that would probably be the real Kisame's real mother, because like, why would he? Because Kisame is a half shark, half man, right? Man. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go deep into soap opera mode on Kisame's life. He will realize that his mom is not really his mom. Because he misses his ex-wife. Then the mistress, the shark mistress, is actually his real mom. Oh. These cartoons are so stupid. Another weird thing that's been going on my channel. You know that Mr. Turner video of the DUI, the guy who's like It's a very old video. I'm sure you watched it if you're like old on the internet like me. It's been a while, for like tens of years, and it's like from the 80s, of this guy who's been held off by a police officer and gets tested for DUI. So I really like this video. I think it's one of the funniest videos available on the internet. So I made a subbed version of it, and this thing was been blowing up recently. Like, I don't know, it's the YouTube algorithm or something like that. Like, I'm a partner now, and I get paid from that video like crazy. It's so weird. Like, it earns me like, I don't know, $80 a month or something like that, just from that video alone. You know, OmniStrife, the creator of Funkatsuki, this Mr. Turner DUI video is actually my most popular right now. Exactly like I expected it to be. Not at all, actually. This can be like I don't need it to be bigger than this, because this won't be visible at all. It's our fish tank. Should probably place it on a tabletop or some countertop. I guess I mentioned this before, but drawing backgrounds is not my forte. I'm not good at it, and I don't like doing it, and it takes so much time. So bear with me for a while. Did you do the voice even of Kisame's dad so you can imitate it now? Of course.
I'm so sorry for my son's terrible ugliness. But you see, he's a son of a goldfish.
I forgot the... It's quite strange, but I do this voice. It's the same voice I used for the chef on the TV show for episode 2.
We cut the fish along the midsection.
That would be weird though, that he's also a fish chef or whatever. Yeah, like I mentioned this before, but it's very lucky for us all that when I did create Funkatsuki, I was already after my puberty, so my voice didn't really change that much. I can still do all the Toby voices and, you know, the leader voices. So it's not really changed. Toby is a good boy and all that, you know. So the voiceovers that I do for the remakes are new from scratch. They're done from zero, and they sound practically the same. Look, I found this ring. Yeah. Toby is a good boy.
Leader, Toby here wants to join us.
God. Hey, has anyone seen an arm? Or like, I like doing Orochimaru's voice. What good lines? I think the opening should be on the backside. Oh my goodness. These jokes, they do not stand the test of time. They are ableist jokes. They are they're homophobic and all that. When I get around to remaking them, I really need to touch up on those materials. They're not good at all. Even like Itachi, the jokes about Itachi being blind, it's not cool anymore. We tread a fine line here. I do not condone this type of humor anymore. It's kind of a shame you can't joke anymore in the internet because people get so goddamn offended. It's a doozy, yeah. I get it. Like, there is a line you should not cross. There's many things that used to be normal, like 50 years ago, that I'm sure not even you or me would be able to say, like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, times change, and even now, here's the thing, even like the most ferocious social justice warriors and liberals, they say things right now that in 80 years their grandkids are going to be like, whoa, that's not cool, you can't say that. Like, society always advances, and I guess the change itself is quite difficult, always, but you should always look at it not from your perspective, but from the side of the people who are the butt of the joke, and I don't mean it in a bad way, right? Like, it's not for us to figure what's offensive and not. It's up. I don't know. People just need to be smarter. I see the criticisms for and against, but like I said, it's a line that is not static. It's different. It changes by society. It changes by your country. It changes by your age. It changes with times all the time. It'll never stop. You can label it as much as you want, political correctness or not, but there's a lot of things that I'm sure even the biggest, people who oppose political correctness, that say it's a bad thing, and I'm sure that if they'll hear how people used to talk like 100 years ago or 70 years ago, their ears would just fall off, and they'd be like, that's not good, that's not okay. And back in the day, if they were transported to that time, they'd be like the social justice warrior. They'll say, oh, you're just too sensitive. But it's something that constantly changes. Hello, Jack. Jack came to say hi. Come here. No, you're going to say hi to people watching. Look at this monkey. You miss his daddy? Yeah? He misses daddy. Oh, you wanna? He's like smelling my pen, trying to play with my pen. Oh, the buttons flew off. Blue glasses, yeah, blue glasses. I'm glad you agree. It's just a product of time. People need to be sensitive, and I don't mean it in a way that like, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. Just don't. Some things are not for us to decide. And people do get smarter, and they change their perspective. Things do change. You gotta adapt. Things that might have been cool to say 5, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, they're not anymore. And stuff that like even the like biggest PC advocates say today might not be cool in 50 years, and like they will change, and people change and society changes. Some say for the better, some say for the worse, but because we live in a society, yeah, and we all want to be accepted in some way or another, people should be smarter about this. But like, for instance, black people, they call, they call each other, it's cool and fancy. It is. There's huge layers to it, and I'm not like educated enough about this, but like, so I'm like also half Jewish, and I have a lot of Jewish relatives, and it's true. Like, there are things that you can say amongst yourself or your type of community where they're not cool from another, and it's That's just my perspective on it. It's not for you to decide what another person finds offensive or not. Like, I cannot say if a joke is sexist or not against women, because I'm not a woman. I don't know how that feels. And haven't been discriminated against because of who I was or because of my race or where I came from, because I went through 2 immigrations. One of them was not really nice. I can tell you, it feels really, really bad to be, how should I say, racially, not assaulted, but, you know, being on the wrong end of these insensitive jokes. I was like, I don't know, 5. And a lot of things are really hard on you when you're a kid. Like, I ended up, when I moved from Russia to Israel, I heard a lot of hurtful comments from children. And they're children, you know, they don't mean a lot of things by it for the most part, because, you know, you say a lot of shitty things as a kid. But those things made me kind of hate who I was and hate the culture that I came from. Some things that I came to really regret because I didn't preserve my language as much as I should have, or I didn't learn as much about the culture that I was from. And it's a bad thing, but like, children don't get that. But as adults, I think we should be smarter than that. Because I see your question there, and you should understand, like, different people using different words. It's all a matter of context. Some word, and it can be the same word, and you might not be using it in a different context. Even it might be like a lyrics to a song and all that. But it sounds ridiculous, and I would agree with you in the past. But now I kind of see that, like, just the same word coming from a mouth of 2 different individuals means a whole another thing. It's a different universe. It can be the same word. It doesn't even matter if it's the the N word or another word being pronounced or spoken. It all changes. It changes because of who says it, in what situation they say it. Is it in, like, some things you can say at home that you'll never say at work or at school, right? It's the same. You can't. You have to be smarter than that. And yeah, that's what I think about this. Yeah, we get a lot of people from different places here. That's for sure. And I think there's a great value in meeting a lot of people from different cultures and moving around in the world, right? I was born in the former USSR, then I moved to Israel when I was a little kid, and now I live in Canada. I changed a lot just from, moving around and seeing different environments and how people react, and how a sort of melting pot place works, like in Israel. I had way different opinions about multiculturalism and how viable is that in the modern world back then, as opposed to what I think of it now when I live in Canada, because culture here is different. I can see here that people are truly accepted, for who they are and what culture they come from, without being judged or persecuted for it. Obviously, it's a huge generalization, but for the most part, it actually works here. And I would never believe you in a million years, just from living in Israel and the USSR, that it's possible. So a lot of what we think and believe is shaped vastly by our experiences and environments. It's crazy how that is true, but like, it's been proven millions of times over history that, like, good people, normal people, educated people would do the most horrible things just because it's fine in their environment. Like, take the biggest extremes, slavery, Nazi Germany. People who are not bad, right? They did atrocities because you are growing up in this environment where it's okay. Yeah. So no, it's not weird. I don't mind these genuine questions, and I don't know. I'm not afraid of addressing these issues either. Like it might not be a good thing, but you know, that's what I think. I think people, you know what I don't like? I don't like when people say that some things can't be discussed. I think anything can be discussed, right? We can talk about these things. Evil can be surprisingly banal. That's true. Evil can be very flat. It's a lot. I don't want to get too philosophical here, but yeah, evil. Like even defining evil is not simple, right? Everything is different. There's a lot of like studies been done on that. Like you would see kids and like even adults have the benefit of like at least having some sort of understanding to the world. But like my grandfather is a Holocaust survivor. He lost his entire family in the Holocaust. But I know for a fact that even like, you know, soldiers or even like people who worked for the German government, they weren't like all of them were evil. Oh, I'm waking up. I'm gonna kill a lot of Jews tonight. It's not how they see the world, right? It's like for them, that's how they were indoctrinated to see the world as a good thing, right? People always, like politicians especially, they want to shape, you know, your perception of what is good and what is bad because they get strength from that, right? Yeah, your great grandma was as well. Yeah, so yeah, history is like that, and the sad thing about history and about this world is like even the extreme situations like Nazi Germany and the Holocaust, they're not new, and people talk about it, oh, never again and stuff like that. Well, you know what? Look at North Korea and a lot of places where they had like tribal wars in Western Africa. Things like that happen still to this very day, but people don't give a crap because there's not like any incentive for I don't know, America, Germany, France to invade North Korea and save all those people because, well, it's too much of a, you know, there's no resources there. No, there's not enough of a push. The public doesn't really care about North Korea. There's like literal concentration camps in there, and then when I see like you know, ceremonies, Holocaust ceremonies, and they say, well, never again, and people talk about like politicians in Israel, they'll be like bitter, and they should be, about countries knowing that there were like concentration camps in Poland and in Ukraine, and countries like planes flying over these places and not bombing them and not attacking, and they'd be like, oh, well, how could they let these atrocities happen? Well, look at this world right now. Stuff like that happens sadly in other places of the globe. So nah, you shouldn't be sorry. It's a good dialogue. If I didn't want to talk about this, I wouldn't. I received 100 messages today on Restream chat. Wow. Monetization. No, I don't think it's the no royalty music that gets me. It's not the topics that I'm talking about. We didn't really say anything bad in here. It's not that I get any money from this anyway. Like, right, maybe on a good day, on a good month, I'll get like $5 from it or something like that. That's all good. I do this because I enjoy the company and I like talking to my fans, and it's all good. I hope that like at least something I said here had some value. It can be entertainment value. It can be something else. Why do we do the things we do, right? Because we have limited time anyway, so at least we might as well enjoy them. Maybe I should open up a second channel talking about the philosophy of the world. My opinion on a bunch of serious topics. Honestly, considering I met you on YouTube while being just a kid, you're basically big bro to me. Cringy joke. It's not cringy. It's all good. Yeah, it was 15 years ago. It's literally half of my life. Well, now it's 16. God, I'm old. I had a podcast where we talked about political stuff and philosophy in the before times. I could be your co-host. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm very opinionated about these topics, and the more I talk about them, the more I think about them, I think I shouldn't talk about them. Like, I get disillusioned by the world and by politics, and I see it for what it is, and I don't like it. I think for the limited amount of time we spend on this planet, my approach has become really nihilistic and in a way that, like, spend it with the people you love, doing things you love doing, because ultimately that's what you're, that's what really matters, at least in my opinion. Like, I get the idea that, like, some people devote themselves to, public life and politics and all that, and it's fine, but, like, it has more things that I don't like about it than I do like about it. Like, my association with politics is like, oh, so bad. They're not public servants, is what I'm getting at. It's such a poor description of what politics is. Serving the people, yeah. I've been on a doomer pill for a while, but in the past couple of years, I found hope in the future of unexpected place. I agree with you. Like, it is doomy and gloomy, but I find that there's a lot of beauty in just detaching yourself from these things, focusing on self-improvement, focusing on the people you love, focusing on art. Think hard about the things that really make you happy. It's never the news, okay? It's never the news. And it can be like it can be the stupidest things. It can be, getting a car, like a Miata, sure. It can be like listening to music. It can be playing your video games. It doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter. Do nostalgic things. Try and, like, things that you liked as a child. Eat good food. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. Travel once that is available. Oh, I'm Snow White again. Why am I so... Oh. Hey, Jack. Oh, this camera. Join my Patreon so I can afford a new one. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. It's something with the software that's really funky. Doing Funkatsuki streams. Yeah, this is fun. I really like it. I'm always, like, so reluctant to start these streams. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do today? Like, I'm going to... Like, when I envision my stream, like, oh, I need to start my stream, I always think about it as, oh, I'm going to draw these boxes today. That's not fun. I'm going to animate, like, a bunch of smoke or, like, draw this pet shop, and it's not really that much fun. But like with you guys here, it's much more fun, and I think it's the same for you. I mean, you're not tuning in here to see me draw. Well, some of the drawings are kind of cool and funny, but for the most part, it's pretty boring. And I guess like the dialogue and like it's the journey more than, well, not the journey. It's like just hanging out. Something what we all miss dearly these days. Wait, am I erasing right now? I am erasing. You have a drawing tablet yourself? What kind of tablet do you have? Oh man, my shoulders hurt. It cut my message. I wrote, "Damn, it would be cool though if we could like help you out somehow." Yeah. If there was a website like a Patreon that could be like, you know, available. I'm not gonna be a sellout.
Stop crying.
I'm not crying. I'm good. I don't really. Your biggest supporting thing like is just showing up here and make these streams much more fun. I mean, if you want to donate money, I'm good with that. It's like you can get me a coffee once in a while, sure, but you don't have to. I already had my coffee, thanks. No, you finish your coffee.
Have some coffee.
No, I'm good, thanks. Oh, like drawing together, yeah, that could be fun. That's exactly what you're doing though, by talking here in chat. It's fun. It gives me all the energy I need. Some plants in here. Spruce up the place a bit. That's really a lame plant, but I guess it's better than nothing. It's a small palm thing. What else can we put in here in terms of like detail? I think it's already starting to look kind of good. Here it's gonna be where everything is gonna be broken up by Itachi. Everything's gonna be black and all that, but I don't know, what should we place in here? What, like shelves with food or bags of food, I guess, can be here, like a foreground sort of thing. Or another plant standing by in the foreground. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. That's another plant. I don't want people to assume that it's what's his name? Zetsu. So I'm gonna add some details to these leaves. And I think next stream we're gonna finish the coloring in here, add some animation and lighting, and finally draw Deidara and Kakuzu here and Itachi going through the thing. Oh, it looks kind of nice. Not too shabby. Alright, I think I'll call it a stream here. Thanks for joining me today. Very stimulating dialogue we've had today. And yeah, keep safe, and I'll see you next time on the stream. Thanks, everyone. And thanks to the Patreons. And yeah, I'll see you all very, very soon. OmniStrife out.